Welcome to episode 140 of The Endless Stream. I'm Aidan, and this week I am joined by Kevin. We are two artists, illustrators, filmmakers, and all-round shit talkers, and each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, Amazon Prime. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. This week is something of a banter pod. It's a bit of a mess. We're just chitting, we're just chatting, we're talking about all the things that happened to us in December and led up to the Christmas and the New Year. We are talking about some of the stuff we've watched. Of course, Kevin mentions his old holiday classic Anna and the Apocalypse, the Scottish musical zombie rom-com, and a whole range of other nonsense occurs. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the podcast, heading over to iTunes, heading over to Spotify, rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing. All of those good things really help us out. On top of that, you can head over to Instagram at The Endless Cast, where we put up art and clips to go with each episode. That's a great place to reach out, send us a comment, send us a direct message, tell us something you'd like us to watch, tell us whether or not you disagree with what we've said. It's a great place to do that. Or if you'd like, you can send us an email at theendlesscast@gmail.com. All that being said, let's jump into the episode. Banter pod.
A small banter pod.
I'm doing a little bit of teaching this week, a little teaching assisting. I'm helping my buddy Porrig out.
Amazing. Where are you doing that?
I didn't know where I was doing it immediately, and as I was following the Google Maps to get to where I need to go, I found myself driving to your house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
no way. You're in
your neck of the woods.
In my neck of the woods. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
So, to be vague, you know when you leave your house and go
Left,
and then left again, and you're walking down into the town a bit, and you turn left before church, and you find there's a green sports field there where Decaf is actually.
Yes. Yeah. Well, now you've literally
just directed people. Yeah. But I said into the town, and like, you know the way you walk for 40 minutes, and where that the school across the road there.
You can beep all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Just be selective. But beep it. You should beep it. Because it'd be funny if you beep it, because it's a good joke.
All right.
Bit. Yeah. Beep stuff out. I like hearing beeps in podcasts because it's hilarious.
So I'm doing some teaching. Yeah, but it means I got to be over there for like 9 a.m. And I got there for like 20 to 9, but I got up at fucking 7 this morning. Which, as I say, it is like, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
But I was afraid I would sleep in, so I was waking up every 40 minutes, and there were cats running around, and it was all very and there were cats running around, so it was all very noisy.
Okay, cool. So what are you teaching?
I'm teaching. I'm helping teach. Really, I'm just like helping out a friend.
That's great, buddy. Yeah.
And it's like little animation workshops for kids in like 4th class, I think. It's fun. I've never taught kids that young, and in small groups. They're pretty focused, and like focus is rough, but like you can tell it's kind of good natured. They get a little rowdy, but the teacher tells them to be quiet, and they pretty much do. So that's good. I
think I do have memories of getting quite into comics in 4th class. I was that kind of age, which is 8 or 9, isn't it? 9?
I don't know. I lose track of the fucking ages of people. Like I also like I look at kids and I'm like 12, 5. I don't know what age these children are. I don't know. I spend no time around children, so I don't know what age they are when they're that high.
No, yeah, I haven't got a clue. It's always 12, isn't it? You just think they're 12. I haven't got a clue. You're like, I saw some like 12-year-old. I haven't got a clue. I never say like.
There's a ute.
But there's a ute, a youngin. But so that's cool. That's awesome. So yeah, I think but no, that's cool. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's just like I really remember like kind of my interest in like actual reading comics and following like these stories outside of cartoons and all that kind of stuff. Kind of started to kind of really kind of come around then, which is kind of funny, you know. It's cool, pretty cool. You're able to kind of teach those type of kids at that age animation, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like they're kind of like they kind of know what's going on, and they're kind of like I don't know what the fuck this is either. You know what I mean? And in some ways, they're like we got like a kid that's never set hand to plasticine in their life, you know, because they're all touchscreen babies.
Oh wow.
So yeah, no, we had to introduce like a kid was just like, "What's plasticine?" And we was just like, "Oh, this is plasticine." But I got to go to get materials today, and I went to Evans's, and I saw a thing I might buy myself. And I say that way because you're a good-natured soul, and I don't want you running to the shop and buying me any paints. But it's also from a position of like, I know the thing I want, and I want the whole set of it. I don't want like a gift set introductory, because then I'll have two things. And I know that's wildly presumptuous, but
no, but you're probably right. But I really appreciate you for calling me out on that. That's pretty sad.
It's right around Christmas where if you say, "Oh, I like a thing," you might just run out and buy something kin to it, and you're a good dude. But there's it.
I never expect that of you, Aiden. And you know, I saw an Avengers #1 on Subsidy's Instagram there, and I thought to myself, you know what, Aiden will never get me that.
Okay. Not noted.
How much do you reckon that is?
The Holbein acrylic gouache set for 139 yo-yos. It's 36 paints for €140.
Acrylic gouache, is that gouache?
This is the thing. It's probably been around for a while, and I've started seeing Instagram people talking about using their acrylic gouache. And I don't use acrylic gouache. I just use gouache.
No, because you're an old man.
Exactly. And what happens when you start layering gouache on top of it, it just kind of gets muddy. And it starts mixing. And if I put one layer of gouache onto the next layer, the water will activate the older layer. So if I want a lighter... I've put down a dark layer. I want to lighten this using a lighter color. I have to put that on so thick and opaque without activating the paint under it again.
Yes.
And then you start to get a little sheen on it and it gets a bit whatever. So the development of acrylic gouache is that like a new layer of water on top of it isn't going to activate it again. But it's got some of the color factors of gouache. Now, that's coming because the painting I'm doing, I'm enjoying so much and liking the results of.
Amazing.
That I kind of want to play with it a bit more. And like I did, like you can kind of see the dragon painting I've got behind me. But... these ones.
How do I make? Oh yeah. Ooh, that's cool looking. The dragon one behind you.
Yes.
He's so talented, people. Yeah, that's looking epic. Wow, those clouds are amazing.
The clouds came out cool, but doing them was an afterthought. I had put in the general shape of the dragon, and then I went, fuck, I have to do the clouds. So I did the clouds, and then I had to paint over the dragon. And now there's a layer of it's starting to get muddy on me. And I'm kind of like, oh, this is getting frustrating. All of that is to say, I want to play with acrylic gouache. It's
excellent.
It's a new toy, you know.
What paper do you use for your gouache?
I'm using currently XL Mixed Media Multi-Technique.
Okay, yes.
Multi-Technique is Canson.
Yeah.
So it's a nice paper. It's a middle ground paper. It's got two textures on it. It's got a very graded or a coarse side and a smooth side. So if I was drawing comics, I'd use the smooth side. When I'm painting, I'd use the other side. And one of the things that I've been doing that I haven't done before, or part of what got me painting, is that I've been taping the paper, which is... did I talk to you about this before?
No.
I did it in... I'm just not a great painter. And I'm not a great follower of painting techniques, nor have I had the tools and resources and the wherewithal to do something. But I found myself with a couple of boards of plywood a while back, and they were real clean, nice, neat-looking plywood. And I went, that reminds me of a thing we did in college. And the thing you do in college is we take a sheet of paper, either with a sponge or in a bath scenario, wet the paper, using the sponge to brush the fibers of the paper out in all directions. So you're stretching it. You're saturating the fibers of the paper so that they expand. and you're stretching them so that they go out in every direction. Then you place them on a piece of wood, and you use the brown adhesive tape that you get at, like it's kind of like the stuff you'd use in the, like if you had a brown envelope and you just took the sticky bit. So it's a roll of brown paper tape. You wet that, you put it on the four edges of it, and then it dries and it holds fast to the paper and to the wood board. And then as the paper dries out,
it kind of takes its shape.
Yeah, as the paper dries out, all of the fibers want to contract again because there's no longer any water in it. But because all of the edges are held, it can't contract. So it all stretches. And once it stretches, when you put a wash on it or you put water on it now, it can't ripple anymore. It's stretched to fuck.
Okay, well, okay, so it doesn't buckle or
Doesn't
anything.
buckle. So these boys have been thoroughly fucking painted, but they're flat as a board. They're great.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, awesome.
It just... And then you use a little guillotine to like slice the brown paper off because that shit's gone.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of there is a bit of wastage to account for. But basically, I'm enjoying painting.
That's great.
Like a big old artist.
Fair play to you.
I landed
excellent.
on the phrase in my head when actively thinking about painting technique, doing one color at a time and a highlight and a low light, mixing my paint ahead of time so that I know exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, laying out the paper correctly on the board. In my head, and I actually arrived at this, I think I was watching someone mix paint on your TV when I was looking after Bjug. And in my head I thought to myself, am I a painter or am I painting? And a painter is someone who thinks about each step and slows the fuck down and accepts that if I want to paint, I'll have to stretch the paper and I'll come back to it tomorrow. And then I'm going to have to take a half an hour to mix my paints. And then I'm going to have to, like you got to just adhere to the steps and the process. Or if you're painting, it's just like blah, 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 blah. You're just a kid fucking around, Am I painting or am I a painter? What I am is a wanker. A fucking paint wanker.
No, don't. No, very well. That's awesome. Fair play. Yeah, I love it. Love to hear it. I love to see it. This stuff is great. I don't know how much of that you're going to actually keep in the podcast, but it's great stuff.
I'll keep bits of it.
Yeah, but yeah, man, nice, really, really cool. Yeah, I've been lately. I've been watching a few more videos of people doing tutorials, portraits with gouache and all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you why.
Oh no, yeah, no. But I also look at stuff all the
YouTube
time.
algorithm.
Yeah, dude, I promise you, I watch that stuff all the time as well. But I'm sure it didn't help its gas. Yeah. But I've also been watching a lot of gouache videos lately, and I love them. But,
I think the acrylic gouache might be a move. We'll see. I found acrylics very plasticky when I used to use them in school and college, but then maybe I just wasn't doing it right. So I've never gone near them really since. I just went into gouache because I loved Alex Ross, and Alex Ross used gouache. I think I don't know, I want to try a new thing, but I also have so much fucking art stuff, which is a weird complaint. Do you ever end up with just a bunch of art stuff and you're just like, I'm going to die with these fucking paints?
Yes, when we moved house, I had to kind of
cull.
Not cull, organize my stuff and put it all out, and then I was just like, whoa, I have boxes of art stuff that's just when I see it, it's just like, oh my god, I want to use all this stuff so badly. I want to do this, I want to do that, and it's just like, wow, I gotta get prioritized. I gotta kind of actually get it out. If I had a desk, I don't have a desk at the moment, which makes it hard. But once I have that stuff set up, it'll be much easier to have access to that stuff. Because remember that whole gouache set I bought before. Yeah, I haven't got much of a chance to play with that. That's why I watched and seeing all these gouache videos now. I was like, I really want to break it out.
Your garden into a workspace for you.
Well, yes.
Is that the plan, or is that...
No.
If you could turn that into a wee Seomra and get yourself a table and a heater and lamps and whatever, and just go out there and just work, get a good warm room, put the telly on, listen to your tunes. That's your little work room,
Well, I don't know if I'd like that, because I would be...
Bring the dog out.
I like it. But I'd miss Seomra too.
She's inside for when you're done. She's there waiting for you. Waiting for you. With food ready on the bed.
No. That's
on
great,
the bed.
no.
Food ready. Negligee. Fucking hot dog in one hand.
Fuck off. But, no, I was going to say to you, before you fucking disrespectful piece of shit.
Disrespectful? That's the fucking ideal. Oh, sorry.
Let's go back to it. Where
painting. Painting and art. I don't know. Like I've done some art recently. I like my art, which is weird.
Yeah, it's great, buddy. Yeah. Well, when I have my own space properly set up, I will get into it for sure. Hopefully sooner or later, but we'll see. But I was playing around with stuff the other day on my iPad. Just kind of randomly sketching and just like not actually just doing stuff for work or anything. That like just mess around with stuff like that. Like it's good fun. It's always nice to kind of. It's funny, like and you know yourself, even as like kind of working in animation, all that kind of stuff. Like it's like you draw for a living and you create this stuff. Like, but then in your downtime, you're just kind of like time to relax. Wouldn't mind doing some drawing right now. You know what I mean? It's just like it's so funny. We're always doing it.
Yeah. Time to relax. Time to do more drawing. Yeah. I mean, even when I was like,
geez, thanks for that great response.
Sorry, no, I agree. I agree with you. I'm with you.
It is otherwise distracting.
I'm tired. I've got a weird feeling in my chest. I'm like, is that a heart attack?
No, it's not. Do you have to go to the bathroom?
No, I'm all right. Oh God.
Because that's stress, buddy.
My mother.
Stress.
I was working downstairs ahead of the Bag of Cats Christmas show at the sewing machine. I was just doing some sewing, and my mother was going to bed. And she's like, "I've been here before," and I went, "What?" And she went, I just remember your father sitting at the fucking sewing machine, sewing a whole cover for a couch because they were doing a show in December. And he didn't like the way the couch looked on stage. And I came down the next morning and he hadn't been to bed and he was sewing the whole fucking couch cover. And today our venue dropped and we've had to like scramble here, and I had to find a new venue, which is going to be the Dot Theatre, which so far has been a very pleasant experience with very nice people. But it took a while to get us there. Like I just mean finding them. Once I found them, they were lovely. But I also have a story of him the night before a fucking show, and I think this was the Olympia maybe, or some other theatre, and he said just a huge chunk of the roof fell in, and they just had to fucking scramble and find a new place. And I'm just having a little like,
oh my God,
cool.
Wow, it's mad how kind of history beats itself, in a sense. Mental. That's nice though. Yeah. I guess it's kind of a little story.
All worked out for him. He's dead now.
I think, well, that was always going to be the result.
Is it?
In the end, so.
Is it?
Yes. Well,
I'm going to overcome.
Maybe, buddy. Maybe by the time you're of age, they'll have robot body transitions.
Did you see the thing with they're doing scientific experiments with like brain cells?
No.
I have half the information and I gleaned it all from a TikTok, so bear with me.
So you got it from a reliable source?
Exactly. They have grown chunks of brain in order to study how it functions. And so far, it recognizes like light and dark and light, and they can get it to like perform simple tasks. And there's like, hyperbolic questions around, at what point is this sentient?
Yeah.
I think they got it to play Pong or something. Like, it was fucking weird. And now they've discovered that they can like kind of like get them close to each other, and like they'll kind of fuse and form larger functioning brain chunks. And
what the
apparently
fuck?
There's an upper limit on it, because without a heart, it needs a pulmonary system.
Yes,
But they've kept them alive longer by merging them into rodent brains, and it's like, this is crazy. This is the real existence organic horror fucking territory.
It's hilarious because like I was literally like I was gonna say, I was like literally like, oh, what? Oh my God! And then it's just like, wait. You this, but this is it. Like you admitted to literally like just watching it could be some bullshit TikTok, and it's just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Like I literally, Literally the worst. Caught myself out. What was I going to say to you there?
Cerebral organoid, or brain organoid,
gross.
describes an artificially grown miniature organ resembling the brain, created by culturing pluripotent stem cells in three-dimensional rotational bioreactor, and they develop over a course of months. Okay. Okay,
so
ethics.
Yeah. I'm not touching that one. But no, I haven't got a clue. I don't know how sentient it is. Probably not sentient at all.
Sure, we're not really.
I mean, it has no context for anything. No, we're
like
not.
you get far enough removed and look at our like bacterial behavior and the way we swarm.
What's the most? Who do you think is, or what is the most sentient creature or being?
The most sentient creature or being?
Yes. An octopus.
Most sentient? Is that not a binary state? You are either sentient or you are not.
Well, what did you just say earlier? That we're not very sentient, no?
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So I watched the new Doctor Who.
Did we not talk about this before?
There's 3 new Doctor Who's.
Oh, sorry.
We talked about the first new Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the second new Doctor Who, and it was very fun. And then I watched ultimately the third new Doctor Who, which was called The Giggle, which had Neil Patrick Harris in it.
That sounds scary.
And Neil Patrick Harris was playing a character called the Toymaker, and was very it's like the Mask in his energy, like Jim Carrey's Mask, but not shot as well, so as to be actually energetic and entertaining. It was just like there were so many long shots of him walking around the place, and you're just like, this is supposed to be snappy and quick. You need to get closer. You need your angles to be lower. You need like moving camera. It isn't quite working. But it was fun. I enjoyed Neil Patrick Harris. And it's the last of the Tennant ones, the David Tennant ones. So they had to get rid of Tennant again and bring us the new Doctor, who's played by Nkuri Gatwa from Sex Education.
Yes. Yeah, awesome.
And
he must be one of the youngest Doctors, is he?
Do you know, let's find that out. Because the thing it is, Matt Smith was a lot younger than you think when he first started playing the Doctor. He just has an old man head. Matt Smith was 26.
Okay.
Let's see how old Nkuri Gatwa is. Scottish. He's 31. Which makes it so fucking funny that he's been in that show Sex Education playing a high schooler.
Yeah.
For the last 4 years.
But it's always the way. Yeah, it's always the way. But that's mental. Yeah.
But we got our first glimpse of him as the Doctor now. And
yes.
He's immediately great. Immediately a lovely, charismatic version of the Doctor. They did a thing where Tennant gets shot with a giant laser beam because so the Toymaker first fought the very first Doctor Who, and that's from the era where they like lost the series. Like they don't have copies of the reels of it. Like they've got clips of it.
Yeah.
So bringing him back as a character is kind of like, we got the scripts and we got clips, I think, but I don't know that they have the full episodes. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong.
Apparently there's only one episode of Wanderly Wagon in existence.
Oh yeah, for the listeners, Wanderly Wagon was a staple Irish TV series with a ventriloquist puppetry artist called Eugene Lambert in the role, and he had this wagon and a dog called Judge, and he would tell stories, and like his wagon would show up and he'd meet kids, but the thing is they would record that and broadcast it, and then a few years later they just said, why are we keeping this? And they just started recording over the tape. So there's no episodes of Wanderly Wagon. They just overwrote it. Eugene Lambert owned a theater just down the street from my house here. So Doctor Who was lasered to death because his rationale was, the first time I played with you, I played one Doctor. The second time I played with you, I played against you, David Tennant's Doctor. Now I must play against the third Doctor. These are the rules of the game, because he's very game based.
Yes.
And he shot old Davy Tens, and
less of it.
And they said that they described it as like a divergent regeneration or bivergent regeneration. So rather than him regenerating correctly, as he always has, he split like a cell, and both Tennant and Nkutigatwa's doctors exist simultaneously, which is a thing that's like, we don't do that. Why are you doing that? But it was basically so that they could let David Tennant's doctor retire rather than kill off. They gave him this like happy ending where it's like, you've been running for 700 years, stop, deal with the trauma of this, that and the other. And it ends with him sitting with Donna Noble and her family and just going, it's great that I finally get to live a life that isn't full of trauma and action and adventure and whatever. And then that's immediately got everybody thinking back to when Matt Smith was the Doctor, and there was a climax in an episode thing where somebody showed up and started talking to him, and when you pulled back the camera you realized it was Tom Baker, someone who had played the Doctor before, and he was this like kind of like knowing figure, and we're like, hold on, is that supposed to be Tom Baker's Doctor? Is that supposed to be a Time Lord? Is that supposed to be a Gallifreyan? And they refer to him as the Curator. And now they're like, does David Tennant age into the Curator? Is that the way that works? Which would be kind of a cool way of explaining that weird fucking... Like, all they really wanted to do was give an older actor a cameo, but it had no way of having an explanation in continuity. So I think they might have just given them that with David Tennant being the Doctor, but...
Who lived on another reality, kind of thing. Like.
The Doctor who lived, like, a whole life in one body.
Yeah.
So Christmas Day, Christmas special, the first Doctor with Nkutigatwa as Doctor Who, and he's immediately like his first action was almost to like take the other Doctor in his arms and hold him and comfort him and tell him, look, it's all right, you've been through a lot, you don't have to die. Like he's immediately a very nurturing and caring and funny and energetic, and he's got a big smile, and he's got a great like he's just a lot of buzz immediately off him. I'm not hating him.
You're pumped.
I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped because
I'm excited for
this whole David Tennant trio of specials is being around reset. They brought back that writer, Russell T Davies, who had launched it. They brought back Tennant. They reset the energy and the vibe of Doctor Who that people want, and now we're moving forward again. So let's see if they can hold on to that. Couple that with the fucking Disney money that's been thrown into it. If you look at the TARDIS now, when they go into it, the scale of the space they've built is ridiculous. It doesn't need to be that big. It's never needed to be that big. It's a big dome that they're in. And there's always these circles on the walls, or there are often these circles on the walls, depending on which fucking design they're leading with. But now each one of those is a light source, like cued to LEDs, so they like change color in a way, and the whole set can change vibe based on these things. So that's pretty clever set design, if you ask me. Are you nerded out yet?
For you. No.
Okay. You're taking it well.
No. Well, yeah, I'm interested in hearing your opinions, what you like.
Well, I mean, the last time I said I watched Doctor Who, your response was gross.
Yeah, I know, but I can't do that now. It's just two of us talking. Maybe it was two of us talking.
It was, yeah.
I don't know.
You were just like,
you shut up. But I'm happy to hear you're excited over it. I did have a question about it. Oh yeah, so this is my question.
Yes.
So when a new Doctor Who character is cast or whatever, or they start a new chapter with a new Doctor Who, is it kind of like Marvel where like there's still canon? Like say like, so you know the way like kind of like they could like retcon, or they could like start like X-Men #1. We're starting fresh.
Yeah.
But they'll still do the Phoenix Saga. They still do the, they'll always do like they'll hit the beats.
The continuity
exists in a new way. Yes.
Okay.
It's
so it's never like starting over. They're not reboots. It's like a crab shedding its shell. It's just growing out. It's the same person. It just looks different.
Oh, interesting.
So
it's always just been the one guy experiencing all these things until David Tennant got split and he decided he wanted to stay with Donna Noble, you said, who was a previous partner? Companion? Yes. Yeah. I don't know the word, but companion or partner. But.
They're like, it's fun. Most it all exists. The older stuff that stopped in the like late 80s, I want to say, early 90s. It's pretty rough to go back and look at now. So most of our generation that would watch it are thinking about
Christopher Eccles.
2005 on. But even going back to 2005 now, that's ropey looking.
Yeah, I do. It like they were very ambitious.
Yeah, but that's always been what I loved about it, is that like the ideas are huge. They just can't. Their what is it? Their reach exceeds their grasp type of thing.
Yes.
They're always aiming higher. And now throw a bunch of Disney money at it. No, actually, even as I say throw a bunch of Disney money at it, there were some shots in that second special that I was like, what in the fuck is this? Why in the name of God have you done this? It looks awful. You should have known better. At one point in it, a very rubbery version of Doctor Who does a back bend, so his hands are on the ground and his head curls up between his legs, so he's looking at you like there's some alien shit going on, that there's this flexible version, but it doesn't work, and they've just like floaty animated a head in front of his groin, and it's so crap looking. It's so crap looking. You're like, why? You have all the money in the world and you've chosen to do this.
Inspiring. Yes, it's awful.
Just
I wonder. They could have like there's like how hard it could have been to like stuff some clothes into a pants. Like go down the practical route in the sense rather than trying to do some like complicated 3D scene. Do you know what I mean? If you're talking about just like, I don't know, I didn't watch the scene. I'm just thinking of an up close shot of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could send you a screen grab or something if you really want to see it, but we don't need it right now. I'll surprise you when you least expect it. David Tennant's head on his own groin.
Okay, I'm expecting it.
Cool. Did you watch anything interesting in the last week?
Finished Squid Games.
Cool.
The competitive reality show. Yeah, I liked it.
I heard great things.
I was happy. Yes, I was happy with who won.
The most expensive game show ever produced.
I can imagine. I can see why. They start off with a very large number of contestants.
Well, I think it's the sets and the setup and the prize money also were just massively expensive. And the production. Like every one of those people had to be squibbed up so that when they get shot in the first one, they like go off,
Yeah. So I think the final jackpot was like 4.5 million or something, or 5.5, something like that. But even if it's 4.5, it's just like, it's phenomenal money. I can see why it's probably one of the more expensive TV shows. It's a huge jackpot.
So I think the thing is, like, if you look at, I'm really just taking this information from another show that discussed it, but they were saying that like something like the X Factor.
You can get that show a shout out because
I will.
You're taking their observation.
Well, they don't need our shout out. This is a very high end entertainment show.
Oh no, but I mean like you can say it. You don't have to like you're listening. I was like don't leave anything the same because I'm just saying like
okay.
You don't have to skip around. So they can literally be like I was listening to a podcast.
I was listening to a podcast called The Rest is Entertainment, and they were talking about the game show format, and they mentioned that something like the X Factor might have a bigger budget. But it's because you're paying Simon Cowell and you're paying Tom Jones or you're paying, I think that's the one with the chairs that rotate, whatever that's called, The Voice. Like
The Voice, yeah.
These judges are getting huge salaries, but that's not, when you look at like the building of the sets and the games and the rigs and the setup and everything that goes into the Squid Games show, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good. Trying to think of anything else I watched. We watched I think it was a Swedish TV show. I don't know if I mentioned it already. A Nearly Normal Family. It was a thriller. Basically, an incident happened in a family's daughter's life when she's young. The parents, unfortunately use poor judgment, terrible judgment in this situation, and it just escalates years later. And it was quite a good show.
That's called A Nearly Normal Family?
Yes.
It's good.
It's Swedish, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's dubbed. It didn't really bother me too much. I kind of forgot.
Okay. Well, no, that happens when you're watching something.
Yeah. You're engaged enough in it.
You engage in it and you...
Yeah. I watched a Christmas Genie movie with Melissa McCarthy. I like her. So,
okay.
I hear.
Was it?
I hear nothing about it.
Okay.
It was. It's like, but dude, it's like I like people like Melissa McCarthy because like I know I can put on her. I mean, like she's actually in Nine Perfect Strangers and she's great in it. She's a great actor. But yeah, I know if I put something like on with Genie, it's just gonna be fun. I don't have to think about anything. It's silly, and like sometimes that's what I want, you know. And I love people like Adam Sandler and Melissa McCarthy who are both good actors in their own rights. But they do stuff like that, and I think like people need stuff like that too. Can't be doom and glooming all the time. But
yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Yeah, and I did watch something that oh god. Oh, and also we rewatched Anna the Apocalypse, which is a favourite of mine.
So for long-term listeners or for the first-time listeners, Anna and the Apocalypse is a Scottish musical zombie movie set at Christmas that Kevin forced us to watch one year, against our wills. That being said, has the cast of that gone on to do great things yet? Like one of those guys is in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, one of them is in a lot of stuff.
Is it just one of them or any of the others?
I think so. One of them's in a lot of... Well, no, like there's the principal who's in a lot of stuff anyways. I can't think of his name.
Well, the principal was the stunt cast guy. Was the big name that probably got the name.
Yes.
Like either helped make the movie or helped get the movie get made by being associated.
I want to say Paul something. Or
yeah.
Paul. Who's it? D? Maybe I don't know. But yeah, we watched that, man. I love that movie. It's
Paul K.
Paul K. David K. Paul K. Huh.
You're thinking Peter K.
Peter K. Who's David K?
I don't know. I know Paul K.
Paul K. Paul K. and Paul K. Oh yeah. Paul K. and Peter K. Peter K. kind of.
You okay? You alright?
Drops. What?
You okay? You're having a little Paul K based breakdown.
Yeah, sorry.
Paul K. Peter K.
Because...
Paul K. Peter K. Peter K. Dave K. Are you okay?
But definitely cut all this stuff out.
No, that stays.
I keep on getting fucking Aiden. I'm gonna lose my mind here.
What's up?
You never see Peter K. He's always disappearing off the radio and then comes back and then disappears for a while.
You never see him, but then he comes back.
Well, you know what I mean? Like he's known for just like not doing shows for years and then do like another set of shows to sell out.
Okay.
He doesn't do any work for ages and then he produces something.
Yeah.
He's Phoenix Nights, right?
Yes, he tours, right? He just leans into the stand-up comic touring thing.
Oh, I think very rarely, like.
Okay. Do you remember? I will say, fucking hell. I thought this was funny. I hate that I thought this was funny, but I definitely thought this was funny. But fuck it, if Paul K is funny, Paul K is funny. But he started when he went back to do stand-up comedy, he didn't want to tour, so he picked a venue and staged his show. And the show was called Paul K, the tour that doesn't tour. And he just did the show on spot. And then he enjoyed it and it worked out and they decided to tour it. So it was called Paul K's Tour That Doesn't Tour, now on tour.
Oh my God, hilarious.
Which I think is funny.
Yes, excellent.
I like repetition.
Genius. And repetition. But, oh yeah, Anna and the Apocalypse. It's a fun movie. Peter K. Paul K. Oh my God. You ruined me.
I'm ruining you.
You Gundam broke me. But it is also, yeah, I was just going to say, like, we are actually recording this on Monday night. I had my Christmas party last night and it was fun, but I am tired.
Where did you go for your Christmas party?
We went to Sophie's. Do you say Sophie's?
I've never been to Sophie's.
Man, well.
Would I get in?
The food was delicious. Of course you would, why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I feel like it's the type of place where they don't let me in. That's my own self-esteem issues.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Everything that. If I get in, you'd get in. I'm a degenerate.
Right. You're not a degenerate. You're like one of the Dublin well-to-do tattooed.
Well, I don't think so.
You don't think so? I don't think you're part of. You don't think you're part of the life in Dublin aristocracy.
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
No,
Right.
I don't think so.
All right, you think whatever you want to think.
But
hey, you do you, boo.
I'm certainly not anymore, anyways. But yeah. So yeah, we went there and it was great. The food was delicious. We had a really good night. It was really, really good fun.
That's great.
Yeah, it was very civilized.
Did you stay at Sophie's for the whole evening?
No, we went to Whelan's afterwards.
Whelan's is a great spot.
And it is, yeah. There's a gentleman on the door there. I won't say his name, but he's a bouncer I used to know for years, and I haven't seen him in a long time. So it was good to chat to him.
Very good.
It's nice to see some familiar faces around the city because I don't really go that much anymore. Not as much as I used to. But yeah. Oh, actually, side note, I did get a pair of, Penny's versions of Crocs, whatever Crocs are. Why? Are you repulsed at the fact that I bought something that resembles Crocs?
I just don't know why you would.
No, but I'm going to tell you why I would. Because
I'm over 40 now, and I've got lower back pain. It's sorry.
No, look, right. I took out the strap because you can take out the strap. The strap is Velcro. Right. You can take it off, right? Inside, it's furry. It's like kind of like sheep's, like kind of tight sheepskin or something. Now, it's obviously synthetic, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's great. But for someone, Aidan, who has to slip on shoes because they have a dog that wants to go out at night time and all that jazz, they are perfecto. I am so happy with them. €10. Don't walk, run.
Or gently saunter your way to Brown Thomas. Find your way into the basement and wander into the gentleman's slipper section where slippers are waiting to swathe your waiting feet in the finest of furs, ripped straight from the back of baby animals and sold to you for excessive prices. Saunter. Don't run. Brown Thomas, this Christmas, making you better than everyone else.
Yeah, I guess that's how some people feel about Brown Thomas.
All right. Do you think you're going to go see the Aquaman movie?
No, but I'm still pretty hurt over not seeing the Marvels in the cinema. Pretty devastated by that. I haven't seen it yet.
It's gone, is it?
I'd say so at this stage, yeah. I don't have time.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'd kind of like to see Napoleon, but again, I don't think I have time.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
What are you doing, Aidan? Not much, but at the same time, don't have time.
Don't have time.
What am I, made of time?
Have you have you put up your Christmas tree yet?
Yeah. You all right? That tickled you.
Yes, it did. But you have put up your Christmas tree. Fair play to you. I haven't got one yet.
There's a Jimmy Carr joke about, he said, my girlfriend got pregnant again. I had to sort it out again. I pushed her down the stairs. What? Don't give me that look. I'm not made of coat hangers.
No.
It's
No.
so fucking. Oof.
No. Oh,
No?
No. No.
It's so aggressive.
Oh. Wild. But I think, did I watch anything else? No, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I did read. Let me do. Okay, 1 second. One is right. So I did read Fionn of the Fianna,
All right.
with script by Turlo Delaney, art by Kevin Keane, who is at Kevin Keane Illustrator on Instagram, and a concept was Robert Curley. From 2nd century pagan Ireland, by the way of the mid-century independent Ireland, for the first time the early deeds of Fionn McCool are told by those who were there to witness them. 3 pre-Christian warriors, Diarmid Gall and Fiachra. Tales from Diarmid Gall and Fiachra. Tales from this early year of exile in Slieve Bloom is to his time as an apprentice bard at Brunaboyne, accumulating in his early ascension to chief of those legendary warriors known as Fianna. Etc. 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 I read it. It was good fun. Kevin's art is cool. I think it must be digital. I think it's digital in that book. It's very fast and loose. It's cool. I like it. He has some inky effects that I really like. But yeah, it was a fun book. It was basically those 3 guys on the hill of Tara meet some kids that live locally, and they kind of, basically, long story short, the 3 lads end up telling them different stories of Fionn McCool at different periods of his time. But did you know what Fionn's birth name was?
What's Fionn's birth name?
Yes.
Kevin?
No.
Okay.
Let me just, because I want to make sure it's... because it's one of those ones where it's like, I'm not too sure if I'm going to pronounce it correctly. Well, in this book, anyways, I can't see right the thing I'm reading at the moment, but in this book, it says Fionn McCool's original name was Demne, Demne, I think it is.
Demne?
Yeah, and I never heard that Irish name.
Demne. I've heard Danu, but not Demne. It's good to see Kevin Keane getting work published, though, right?
Yes, well, I don't know. Young Fionn, still known by his boyhood name of Demne. Yeah, it's a thing. I'm not really super familiar with Kevin Keane stuff, but I know he is an awesome artist, and the dude draws a mean fucking Ghost Rider. And I know he has done Gunslinger Spawn, which is a cool looking book.
I saw a cool Ghost Rider in... I think I saw a Ghost Rider in Sub-City and thought of you in a Christmas vein. But
you should have done it.
I should have.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it was,
what was it?
But it was CGC graded, but it was a real low grade on it, and I was just like,
in Sub-City.
Yeah. Now I feel if there was a CGC graded book in Ghost Rider in Sub-City that was in any way decent nick that you wanted, you'd have bought it already.
Yeah, you're a smart man, Aidan.
It was a real low grade, so I can see why you would have sort of held off and gone, if I want that, I'll buy it.
Yeah. I do want that book to a degree, but basically I just wouldn't be willing to pay the price that the guys will give me, however good the price was. It's not what I want right now. And if I really want it, I will get it. You know what I mean? Like, as in some stage or down the future, could be fucking 20 years. It could take me bloody however long. But it's just like right now, it's not on my list. It's not on my scopes.
That's fair.
Yeah. You know, I would never. You know, as in like kind of like, it'd be great. I would love to have it, but I'm not. It's not a priority right now.
I had a good day Christmas shopping there the other day.
Oh yes.
I got up very early and I went into town. And I went to the Fumbally Christmas Market, which was great.
Oh, yeah. I've never been.
It was, I mean, I guess they must have general markets quasi-regularly, but this one had a real Christmassy vibe. And there was great artists and craftspeople. And like, it was real small and vibey and was like cool. And it was like, I don't know, it was like really nicely put together and everyone had their branded shit. And it was like a real nice place as well. Like, cool. I like decaf, but decaf feels kind of like clinical and cold in some ways. But this place had a real like wood vibe, and people were like downstairs making food, and there was I was just like, say mince pies.
I was going to say, on the topic of decaf, and obviously don't include this in the podcast because I support them and want to support them. I went down there like the other day and just like, man, like can't differentiate from an artist I saw last time to an artist like this time. Like, I don't know, like, who's who. They all just do the same Western anime cartoony muck.
Yeah. That's why I'm in no big rush to go back to it.
Yeah, no, I'd like to go back to it, but, like, at the same time, it's just, like, I am not, like, what people want there.
I don't know. Maybe you'll stand out because you aren't, you know?
Anyways, so you got yourself some mince pies. I know you're a big fan of mince pies.
I'm a big fan. I was like, I had just got myself a croissant and a coffee before I walked over, and I walked into the door and I was like, okay, so what if you go, 3 mince pies for a... And it's just, like, you
love mince pies.
I fucking filled my face. Now, not putting it on the podcast because I'm spreading joy. Wasn't the best pastry. Real flaky, dry pastry. Like, the guy had pastel de nata on the table as well. So it's like, I think this guy makes pastel de nata most of the time, and he used the same pastry recipe to make mince pies, and it just wasn't top notch. It was slightly disappointing, but I was really vibed to see some mince pies.
Yes, I know.
All of a sudden.
I have kind of rekindled the love for some apple pie lately. Apple pie is great. Yep.
Apple pie's great.
There's something else I was I watched, but I don't know. But okay, the Fumbly sounds great. I've been meaning to get out there for a while, and get some arty crafty stuff on. I did check out Decaf this year. I bumped into a old college friend of mine.
Right.
Amanda. She was selling her stuff down there. Haven't seen Amanda in years. But she works in Boulder. But yeah. It was a nice place down there, bro.
Sorry.
I brought Björk down, and she got her usual little amount of attention and stuff like that. She's a gas little dog.
Björk is a gas little dog. Big old dog. Is she knocking about?
Yeah, she's behind me. I don't know if you can see her. There she is.
She's a good dog. Hello, Björk.
She don't hear you.
Oh, okay.
But
rude.
I was going to bring Björk out, but awful lot of foxes around these days, and pretty early. Oh yeah.
And is she a fox chaser?
Oh, she would love to get a fox.
She's a fox chaser. Actually, I brought her out one night to that field, and she damn near tore my arm off because she saw a dog in the distance. And was going.
So I wouldn't be letting off the lead at nighttime in parks or anything.
No, I didn't, and I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, you're fine to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I told you to or not to, but we just tend to take for a walk around the area or around the block, or, you know, in the summertime you see it's grand because we go down to the Memorial and stuff, but anyways, yeah, you know what I mean? She took after a fox one night, and I just had visions of not getting it back.
Mm.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But speaking of my dog,
Go on.
it's 9:30. I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go get dinner. Sit up in the couch in here. Cuddle my dog.
It's a good plan, buddy. Good plan, buddy. Good plan, buddy. I'm going to get back to work.
Oh, God bless you.
I'm going to have a shower. And then I'm going to go to bed because my brain is fried. And I think if I get... No, I might see if I can get... Okay. Yeah. Let's see if I
Do
can
some
get
self-care.
something.
Have a nice shower.
Let's see if I can...